Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my corner of the internet. My name is Jason and today we are back with some more Distant Worlds universe. Last time we continued our little war with the Kalarba Major... no, that's not right. It's the Hakana Syndicate, yes! I'm sorry, I saw Kalarba Major and I was like, oh, that's the name of the faction, but no, that's not the case. We continued our war with them and, as it stands, Strike Force Alpha and Bravo are actually starting to get pretty worn down. If we look here, we notice that their fuel reserves are incredibly low, and even with Strike Force Bravo over here, very low. So I can't wait to get these defenses set up and get a defensive fleet in position over these planets because, or in this system in general, so that we can go ahead and withdraw our strike forces because they are really getting worn down. While we're getting acquainted with, we'll say reacquainted with things, I'm going to go ahead and keep the speed low, and then we'll be speeding things up a little bit, in a little bit. Now, Strike Force Charlie, it does have some, we'll say some infantry. They have gathered some troops. Really? They captured one of our ships. So we're going to go ahead and continue getting them to, we'll say, grab some more troops and get ready for the next invasion, because I think Strike Force Charlie will be leading the next, leading the next charge. They'll be the ones attacking the next planet. On that note, Strike Force Delta is still set up in position above Nemban Junction 1, providing cover from all the pirate attacks. They are kind of damaged at this point, and, you know, hopefully they can sort of hold things off until, we'll say, relief can arrive for them. The Desolation Moon fleet is once again sort of hanging out right here above the Desolation Moon, and it does appear that nobody's messing with them. Good! Maybe they finally got the hint. So, let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and start planning things out. What exactly are we going to do? Well, if I recall correctly, and I might be recalling incorrectly, I think I was going to be doing some designing in this episode. That's right, I believe I was interrupted last time. I'm sorry, it's been actually a little while since I've recorded an episode. I knew I was going to be busy, so I recorded a buffer of episodes, so it's been a little while since I've played, so I'm a little bit, we'll say a little bit rusty, but I do have a note telling me that I need to do some designs, so we are going to do that. First things first, though, we're going to go ahead and tell Strike Force Charlie to maybe go ahead and load some troops. So they're going to go ahead and find some troops at the nearest colony. That's probably not a great idea because they're heading all the way down here. Because I guess that's the nearest colony that actually has troops. So perhaps... Oh, actually, they might end up helping out Strike Force Alpha, because Strike Force Alpha appears to be getting attacked by the legendary pirate faction, the Haunted Dagger Buccaneers. Dang, okay. This is actually a very bad situation. Now, they should have enough fuel to help them, say, survive this encounter, but I'm really curious to see how, well, Strike Force Alpha can handle this engagement. Now, Strike Force Alpha has always been sort of the strongest of our fleets, and it's always been sort of the one that we send in when we want to get stuff done. And I don't think they've actually had to tangle with a legendary pirate faction before. So let's see how they do in, we'll say, holding off this assault. I want to speed things up just a little bit. Not too quick because, like I said, there's a lot going on here, and I want to be able to sort of gauge the situation as it occurs. But it does look like Strike Force Alpha is maintaining its reputation as being the fleet to be afraid of. Now, am I right? Am I seeing that right? It does look like the shields of the Millennium Falcon are holding rather well. Strike Force Alpha is going to come out of this with maybe a little bit of a scratch here and there. We've only got one component damaged on this one cruiser here, and that's likely just armor. So, yeah, the so-called, we'll say, legendary pirate faction ain't got nothing on Strike Force Alpha. Actually, it looks like we may be trying to invade or capture this capital ship. And I don't believe we're going to be successful in doing that. We're going to probably have to go ahead and just destroy the ship. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to capture that one. So let's just speed it up a little bit more and see the conclusion to this fight. I like to keep things slow when this stuff starts. That way there, you know, should I need to change up strategies, I do have time to, we'll say, alter course to try something different. Now, the Canadian Empire is offering us a free trade agreement. We would be honored if you would join us in a free trade agreement. You know what? Yes. That's the first step to sort of getting, say, on friendlier terms with this new Canadian faction that just sort of came up. Now, I've been doing a little bit of thinking. We'll go ahead and zoom out because I'm pretty sure we're safe here. And Strike Force Charlie is going to be coming into system to load some troops off this planet. Actually, on that note, I should probably... Okay, yeah, I wanted to make sure that there was a garrison here. Because if there was no garrison... Oh, we actually did capture one of their ships. It wasn't the big capital ship, it was just a destroyer, but that's okay. That's alright. It'll be part of, we'll say, the defensive... Actually, we could go ahead and turn it into make it as part of the defensive fleet for Loros. I'll leave it for now. I just wanted to make sure that there was a garrison on Loros, so that way there, when Strike Force Charlie showed up to take troops, that they wouldn't be, you know, they wouldn't take everything. Actually, we may capture this, this capital ship. Oh no! What ship is this? We actually may lose a cruiser. And the reason for this is, our ships are refusing to fire on the overpowering mystery because we have troops on board. So they've been holding fire generally because we're still trying to capture this ship. So that's a little unfortunate. We did lose one ship, and dang, we are really low on fuel. So let's go ahead and maybe tell Strike Force Alpha and Bravo. We'll put them on automated, and that should get them to go ahead and refuel wherever. Actually, it looks like Strike Force Alpha is going to be trying to load some troops. I don't want them to load troops. Alright, well, I guess it's too late. They've loaded troops. Let's let them do their thing. Whatever, as long as we get troops up in, we'll say, up into space that we can start dropping down on planets, that is a good thing. That is something we want to happen. Let's go ahead and take a look at, we'll say, the relation, or actually, let's go ahead and take a look at this system here. We've recently started a free trade agreement with these guys here. However, we don't have any eyes in system, so we should probably get a couple exploration ships in position. So I'm going to go ahead and get an exploration ship over here, so that we can keep an eye on our new partners, as it were. So, the decoy of Saul, why don't you go ahead and maybe fly right over here, just out of system. Let's go ahead and grab another exploration ship. I would like to position you in position here so that I can go ahead and see Orazun? Is that Orazun or Drazun? I think that's Orazun. Orazun Prime. Where's another exploration ship? I want you right over here by the system, or the Kuwak system. Send you over there, so that we can sort of, I want to get a view of, we'll say, how many, what the ground forces are on each of, the planets on each of these systems, because these are my next two targets. One of these systems here is going to go down. Alright, so these guys are actually, ooh, no, unautomate, stop. Strike Force Alpha and Bravo, you guys need to stay in system. I'm sorry. I realize you guys have, like, no strength whatsoever, but you guys need to stay here. I am terribly sorry. They've got, like, no fuel left. But dang, that's right. If they run out of power, they're gonna be useless anyways. But if they leave, they're gonna have so little fuel that they are... Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna actually tell them to go over here by the sun. Now, the reason for this is basically the way the game works is it transforms fuel into energy. And that energy is what's used for firing weapons, powering shields, and stuff like that. Now, if I can get the ships over here by the sun, rather this star, they will be able to, we'll say, gather energy using the energy collectors. And that will, one, it'll stop the amount of fuel that's being used, And 2, it'll make sure that they at least have a full store of energy. Now, that energy is going to go down very quick. If they get into a fight, they do not have the resources for a prolonged conflict. But if they stay here by the sun, they should at least be able to keep a good store of energy, and what little fuel they have left should stop going down. So I'll try to get them nice and close. And I might be misunderstanding, or I may misunderstand how the mechanics work in the game, but to my understanding, the closer you are, the better the energy collectors work. Alright, so they're going to have to hold out until Strike Force Charlie can get into system. And Strike Force Delta, it's actually Nemen Junction 1, so they're actually being able to refuel at the planet that they are protecting. That's good because, yeah, and then once the base is built, they can go ahead and repair there, and then we can start using them as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and zoom out. Before we go ahead and look at the designs, I just want to do a quick review here of the Empire comparison screen. So, we're still looking pretty ahead of the other empires. Military strength-wise, we can still hold our own. Strategic value, we're definitely doing better. Our economy is still less than the Tegan Corporation, but I do feel like we are catching up with them. And territory, we are actually... The Naxilian Union is getting rather large, evidently. They don't... Their color doesn't expand as much as the what is it, Meridian Alliance? Meridian? Yes, the Great Meridian Alliance. But evidently they do have a lot of territory. Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on the Naxilians. They appear to be maybe growing, and maybe we've ignored them for maybe a little bit too long. What is our reputation, or how are we viewed by a lot of the people in the galaxy here? Asilis Major Enclave is still delighted with us. We're still friendly with the Great Caidian territory, and the Caidian Empire is cautious with us. I would like to actually get on good terms with these guys, because they would make a... Oh, but they're so weak. They're so weak that I feel like we can't really use them. We can't use them to get like that mutual defense pact. Interesting here though, military dictatorship. What is the Great Cadian territory? A republic. So it looks like they left, or maybe we'll say there was a coup or something, but basically some faction of the military may have basically branched off from the government, and that's how we ended up with the Caidian Empire. It's interesting. I like looking at maybe those little clues, or maybe they're not even really clues, they're just sort of randomized elements, but sort of, we'll say, forming the story in my head of exactly how and why those things have happened. But I will need to keep an eye on the relations here, because let's say, for example, the where are they? In the Naxilian Union, they are furious with us. They're minus 51, and I would say there's a very good chance that we could start seeing factions declare war on us, especially when you consider that you know, we can't just look at the military strength on the Empire screen. We also have to consider, you know, the Naxilian Union. They have a mutual defense pact. They have their own allies that they can bring into the fight. So that's something to consider. All right, let's go into the design screen, and man, I feel like this is a little bit out of date. Yeah, 2188, and we are in the year 2205. These are some very outdated designs. So let's go ahead and fix that up. Stage ships. We're gonna go ahead and start with our cruiser. I feel like our the frigates and the destroyers and the escorts, we've left them on automatic, and I feel like they're fine. But our cruisers, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead to auto upgrade selected design, and what that does is it will go ahead and automatically replace, we'll say, older technologies, and then I will go ahead and make my own sort of, we'll say, tweaks to make it the way I want it. Really quickly, I want to take a look at the current design, so what it's got on it, because I don't want to make an inferior version. So we're sitting at about a size of 500. Let's see, speed, we're sitting at about 28, sprinting. Let's see, shields are 930 and armor's 468. That is fairly well armored, and as far as weapons go, oh, we do have some old weapons on there. Shadow Force lasers, if I recall correctly, are obsolete. So, going ahead and going to auto upgrade the cruiser. We now have a size of 520, and let's go ahead and take a look at how it's doing. It actually looks like Same amount of armor, same amount of shields. Actually, it's a little bit faster. And it has Titan beams, concussion missiles, velocity shard. It actually looks... Actually, I'm kind of happy with this design. I'm okay with this design. This, maximum weapons energy use per second. Oh. But my excess energy output is only at 172. That I'm not happy about. I feel like... So basically, we can't fire all of our weapons at the same time. And to me, if you're going to have a larger ship, that's kind of what you want to be able to do, right? Now, do we have any troop compartments? I know I had some of those loaded before. Massive troop compartment. I'm thinking about actually maybe pulling one of those off. What is the size on one of those? Let me see, size 16. So each one is 8. How much is a reactor? Yeah, I'm thinking maybe leave the troop transports do the bulk of the carrying. Maybe I'll get rid of another massive troop compartment, and then I will replace that with another reactor, another fusion reactor. Let me see. Let's go ahead and compare the two options here. We got the fusion reactor and the quantum reactor. So the fusion reactor uses hydrogen and has an energy output of 100 and a storage capacity of 215. Oh yeah, and we also have to take into account the fuel efficiency. So definitely the fusion reactor is more fuel efficient, and actually it looks to be, it has a lower energy output. So I'm guessing that means that it generates energy slower than the Caslon type, and it has a lower storage capacity. However, it's more fuel efficient. So it actually kind of feels like the quantum reactor is probably still better than the fusion reactor, and it's actually, but it's heavier. So we'll go ahead with the fusion reactor, pop that on, and that gives us excess energy output of 272, which let's see, 246 plus the energy needed to move around, because that, yeah, we've got to take that into account too. So we can't move at full speed and fire all weapons at the same time. Can we fit another fusion reactor on there? We can. Alright. So I feel like with this size here, we're basically just as well protected. We're moving at about the same speed as before. We've got better firepower on here, and we can move at top speed and fire all of our weapons at the same time. So I'm actually happy with this design. We're going to go ahead and keep this design. We're going to go ahead and save. That will be our new cruiser design, and which we're going to be retrofitting to. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at our troop transports. The troop transports we've got, let's see, how many people can they carry right now? This is troops, 640. Dang, they are well shielded and armored. We don't need a whole lot of, we'll say, weapons on here, so that's not going to be as much of an issue. Let's go ahead and upgrade the selected design. And then we'll go ahead and edit it to manually adjust things. Looks like the shields did go down a little bit. But overall, let me see, 640, still about the same thing. I think I will be okay with this. It actually looks like there's less energy use than there was. And I don't remember the speed. I should have made note of how fast they had traveled before, but it does appear that excess energy output. These things cannot fire and move at the same time. How much will it slow me down if I add another reactor on here? So if we add another fusion reactor, we lose 1 point of speed, but we do ensure that we can move and fire at the same time. And I think that's probably a good thing. So we will go, I'm happy with this. We're going to go ahead and save, and we're done with the troop transport. Now the carrier. I want to take a look at what we've got right here. Lighter on the armor, still fairly good shields, but the weapons on here are just terrible. But that's alright. They're not supposed to be cutting edge because we've got the fighter bays on here. Now that should be, let's go ahead and auto upgrade the, actually wait, I forgot to take a look at the speed. So 19 is the top speed for the current carrier. So let's go ahead and auto upgrade, and let's go ahead and see how things are here. 20. I've already forgotten what it was before. I think this is faster, yes. Alright. So we've got about the same shields, same armor. Right, sorry about that. So same shield, same armor. Weapons are... they're okay. This thing is not really meant to be doing a lot of the fighting on its own, which kind of cracks me up because I should have been paying attention to what the previous fighter capacity was. Let's see, 144. If this thing is firing its weapons, it can't escape. Because if we take a look at the energy here, we got 80 plus 93. That will definitely not equal 144. So we would actually need to slap another... do we have a fusion reactor on this one? Let me take a look. Yeah, another fusion reactor on there. Now, that does bring the speed down by 1 point. However, it does mean that we can, you know, use all of our systems at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and save. Dang, it's the size of... oh, that's right. I was going to say, I can build ships that size, but I forgot. The carriers are an exception. They can have larger sizes because, as an exception, only if they have the fighter bays. So we will go ahead and save that. And then our exploration ship. Let me go ahead and take a look at our exploration ship. Right now, our exploration ships are doing the job, I think, pretty well. I don't think I need an upgrade to them at this time. They're pretty weak, but they're sort of supposed to be, right? I just sort of want them as sort of an inexpensive, we'll say, scout. So, you know, then again, 3151, it's still pretty pricey. It's a really old design. 2181. Let's go ahead and try the auto upgrade design and see how that turns out. So it's just a little bit more expensive. And let's see, what does that do? That's pretty much the same shield, same armor. I think it may... I think it's about... it's roughly the same speed. And range is... dang, it's like 30 sectors. That's pretty good. Yes, so I don't see any problems with this, as long as it still has the long-range scanner, which I wanted, and the stealth cloak. Yeah, okay, I'm fine with this. And we will leave the other things as they are now. Private bases. Gas mining stations, let's see, 2183. Yeah, that's a little bit outdated. Let's go ahead and try, let me take a look at the private bases, like the mining bases. Shadow Force lasers and concussion missiles. I feel like we can make these bases better. Yeah. Especially, you know, with, we'll say, increased aggression. I want our bases to be able to defend themselves. So let's go ahead and auto-upgrade the design and take a look here. I find the auto-upgrade design actually works pretty well. It seems to take existing technologies and then automatically just sort of put the better version on there. I was scared that when I hit auto-upgrade, like the auto-upgrade button, that it would sort of just go ahead and choose, like, basically... kind of choose like an automatic upgrade, a predefined design, but it seems like it does basically what I wanted to do. It just applies new technology to the existing thing. Now, excess energy output is only 68. We need more power. So let's go ahead and slap another fusion reactor on there, bringing up excess energy output to 168 since the ship does not move, or because it's a base. Let's see. Shield recharge rate is 8, I believe. 8 is a number we need to pay attention. So basically 120 something. Yeah, we have got plenty of power set up like this. So we will go ahead and hit save for this. We'll do the same thing with this one. Auto upgrade selected design. Come in here, make sure that it's got enough energy to fire all of its weapons. Save. And we will let the private sector go ahead and retrofit their ships. So yeah, as soon as we, will say, we can relieve one of our strike forces here, we will go ahead and start retrofitting our ships. I almost feel like Strike Force Charlie, they should be retrofitting first right now. Because right now they're moving to pick up troops. You know what? Actually, I'm going to tell them to stop. Strike Force Charlie, I want them to be the first one retrofitted. So Strike Force Charlie, wherever you are, whatever orders I gave you, stop. And please go ahead and retrofit to latest designs. Let me see that right now. That gives their current strength. Let's see, power's 2870. We will see what they are at after the retrofitting is complete. Okay, so one of our carries is under attack. So this is, I believe, what, Strict Force Delta? Yeah, that's right. They're still defending the planet against the Hakona Syndicate's, I don't know, futile attempts at an offensive. All right, now the Gazurian Conformity treaty proposed. Let me guess, you want your freedom again? Yes, they want release from the subjugation, but I'm not going to give that to them. They want now the Cadian Empire wants to offer trade territory maps. Let me see. You've given us 6,000 credits. No, that's all right. You guys don't really have anything that would interest me. you guys have like one colony. I really don't think there's anything you can see that I can't see myself, or that I can just sort of send an exploration ship over to investigate. Alright, so Loros finally has a weapons platform that has been built, so it would appear that Loros, the planet itself, is fully developed. Excellent. Alright, and it looks like we have a couple of captured ships here that that are sort of flying defense in the area. Okay, excellent. So this planet here is slowly starting to get, we'll say, up to speed, and hopefully we'll be able to use that to refuel Alpha and Bravo. You know what? At this point here, Alpha and Bravo are just useless. They are so worn down. There we go. And they can go ahead and repair at the Loros spaceport. We held on just long enough that now we can get our ships good to go. Awesome. And wow, our cash flow went up. Basically, we were sitting at about we were sitting in the red for a little while, but it appears that our cash flow has stabilized, and we are once again making a bunch of money. Which reminds me, we're sitting at like what, 2.5 million credits in the bank. I feel like this is an opportunity for us to go ahead and you know, maybe initiate some crash research on some technologies here, like weapons, advanced logistics. This will give us a actually a further 20% reduction in maintenance costs for troops. And it will cost us a little under 200 grand. Yes, please. Let's go ahead and get started on that. Now, desert colonization, I don't even think even if we had the full 2.5, we could have done that. Actually, yeah, it's only 500,000 credits. Sure. I want to keep a healthy amount of money in the bank though, so I'll probably wait until we get over 2 million again. You know, just in case something happens where I need to start, you know, mass building ships or something, or, you know, something. In case something, I do want to have, like, a large reserve of cash, but, you know, over 2 million, I feel like we can afford to go ahead and spend some on technology, you know, spend some on research. Yeah, that's not going to get through. Alright, so the Hakona Syndicate is going to continue trying, you know, trying to put a dent into our defenses. But look at all these fighters! Like, holy cow! They are not going to be able to do anything. With every attempt, they just wear themselves down more and more. And as it is, yeah, our fleets are starting to get back into shape. Let's see, so the Naxilian Union is giving us some gifts. Dagobah. I haven't heard anything about the Dagobah system in a little while. They're under attack from pirates by the looks of things, but yeah, we've got enough firepower to hold them off. Yeah, that's not going to be an issue. We've got so many like escorts and destroyers and stuff built now that are just sort of roaming around our space that you know, in addition to our regular defensive fleets. Let me see, are you part of a defensive fleet? No. These guys aren't even part of defensive fleets, and they are running defense. So we've got so many ships all over the place. Now, Dagobah, I don't even think we have a defensive fleet for Dagobah, do we? If we do, they're not where they should be. Let me take a look. Dagon, Desolation Moon. Let's see. Order by alphabetical order? No! Dagobah doesn't even have a defensive fleet. And I suppose that's probably because we don't actually... Do we have any colonies? Yeah, right here. Yeah, stupid, you just looked at it. So Dagobah doesn't have a defensive fleet. Very interesting. Why? Was it destroyed? Because I could have sworn I went through everything and made sure every system had a defensive fleet. Okay, well, I'll have to go ahead and construct another one. So, actually, while we're thinking about that, why don't we go ahead and take a look at our colony screen. I want to make sure that the colonies that should be taxed are being taxed. Yeah, it looks like they're all being taxed. I don't think I need to adjust my tax level at this time. I think things are pretty good. Let's see, is that a war that's ended? The Hakonish Syndicate and the Rodal Prime Collective. So they're no longer at war, which means the Hakonish Syndicate can probably, we'll say, level a little bit more of their resources in our direction. However, their resources are very, very little. Economy, yeah, they're still actually not doing too bad in the economy area. Like they're not close to us, but they can replace ships and stuff like that. That's one thing I need to keep in mind. I need to remember not to, we'll say, underestimate my enemies. Because I've said this before in the some of the previous episodes. I'm like, no, I'm getting too cocky. I'm getting too cocky, and this could still come crumbling down around me. As confident as I am that I've won this game, there's still that possibility that stuff can happen. Let's see here. Strike Force Alpha is still repairing. Strike Force Bravo. They're doing their best to repair. They keep getting interrupted, but alright, not a big issue there. Alright, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of do a rolling retrofit. And by that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, let's say, the smaller ships that are not part of a fleet. So I'm gonna I wish I could sort by two different things. Roll and then fleet. So we're gonna start with actually resupply ships. I think those are automatically updated, aren't they? Not retrofitted though. Okay. So these resupply ships, I feel they're gonna be part of my first wave of retrofits. Man, I've got a lot of resupply ships. What are you guys doing? I should be working these guys into my strike fleets. That would actually be a really good idea. So first things first, though, we're going to go ahead and retrofit the resupply ships. It's going to cost us 47 grand. Let's see, what's the current design? I don't know what the current design is. Let's see, RS-15. What is the current one? It is RS-11. All right, so there's been quite a few revisions that we've sort of skipped over. We've neglected our retrofitting. Dang, our fleets could be a lot more effective than they are. So we're gonna go ahead and retrofit the resupply ships. It's gonna cost us about 50 grand. Once those are completed, I'm gonna start wow, they're spread out all over the place. Great. I'm gonna start incorporating those into our strike fleets and actually using them, because if I recall correctly, can't you like deploy resupply ships? Or is that an automatic thing? Because it says status not deployed. It says 30 seconds here. Let me select the ship. And what have we got here? Manage fighters and bombers. No, so I think basically they just sort of need to deploy, but then when they deploy, you can start using them as resupply points. I feel like some of these should be incorporated into every one of our strike forces. Oh wow, a bunch of stuff has happened. Okay. Let's slow things down and read what happened here. So we've had 2 agent missions which have succeeded. Let's see, we've completed research in reinforced construction and on desert colonization. Darn it, didn't I invest money into this? I probably didn't even need to. Aww. Alright, well, that's fine. Let's see. Oh, actually, this is interesting. I missed this before. This breakthrough provides the ability to colonize desert planets and moons, double population growth rate at all of our continental colonies. The new component enhanced colonization module for our ships and bases. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't know about this double population growth at all of our continental colonies. So that's a good thing. Awesome. Now it looks like City C Prime Research Center has been totally destroyed in an explosion at the City C Prime system. Didn't we have a scientist over here that we actually moved? I think that we may have. So we're gonna go ahead and build another research station there. Okay. So we've had a research breakthrough, which also means that we are not researching anything high-tech or industrial. We need to do that. So, what are we going to do? What are we going to go ahead and research? You know what, guys? I'm going to have to figure that out next time because I'm actually out of time. Unfortunately, man, I feel like the clock really hasn't moved forward in this game, but I feel like there was a lot of, we'll say, housework, right? You know, the designing, the, you know, looking over the details of various things, making sure that we're starting to do our retrofitting. The game can be slow at times, but you know, I actually love that about it. When I first when I was first looking for the game, I was looking for something really slow and very nuanced in details and stuff. But anyways, we can talk about that maybe next time. If you like the video, you like the content, and you would like to see more of it, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, leave it a thumbs down. Either way, let me know what you thought in the comments section. And until next time, I would like to ask you all to game on.